Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. We're back here at one of my favorite filming spot locations, and guess what? I have that supreme, lean, luxury performance machine from that iconic British brand. What am I talking about? I'm talking about this bad boy right here. This is it. This is a 2025 Range Rover Sport. But before we get into this Sport Autobiography trim Range Rover, let's talk about what's going on here. So yes, Range Rover is that premium brand of Land Rover. And there's a lot of luxury brands out there. And it seems that there is a large group of customers and car enthusiasts that just, they can't get their thirst quench for this vehicle. And really their whole lineup, even with what some might say is a spotty record when it comes to electrical issues and other problems that come down the road, people still love their Range Rovers. And this Sport Autobiography is no exception. Now, of course, the 5-liter supercharged V8 has gone the way of the dodo bird, but because this brand has some influence from a German luxury auto icon, BMW, it still has some V8 power underneath the hood. But what I want to find out is, what do you go with? Do you go with this Range Rover Sport Autobiography, or do you go with the brand that's powering it with the BMW X7? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our Range Rover and see if we can find out. Right off the bat, I love this color combo. It sparkles like a ruby in the Florida sun, and definitely has a heck of a presence to it. Now at the front of the business, you're gonna see that updated multi-LED beam headlights, LED daytime running lamp with your turn signal, and then more daytime running lamp as well. Look at how small the housing is. That really helps with the sporty, aggressive look of this Range Rover. If you ever wondered what is this, these are washers. Behind here are washers to actually wash off the headlight. Now, working our way down to ground level, you do have functionality with these corner vents. Those are active shutters behind there to bring air for the heat exchangers. On our Sport Autobiography, there's a little bit of this copper trim and a little bit of gloss black. Nothing too crazy in the corners. They even brought some super slim LED fog lamps down below. I bet you if I didn't point them out to you, you wouldn't have even known that they were there. But that metal flake in our ruby red color is absolutely spectacular. And this is one of those vehicles that you could tell why James Bond likes to get behind the wheel. Now, as we come across the front grille area, very unique to the Range Rover. Of course, we have the Range Rover name. I am gonna zonk it. I don't really love stick-on letters. I wish it was like indented into the hood, but I do like the way they work their grille. Very iconic design to the grille. Of course, we have the parent brand Land Rover with the British racing green color. Working our way down, more of that red. And then we do have a forward-facing camera. What I don't like about it is two things. First of all, there's no washer. Second of all, the way it's placed, it looks like a zit on a teenager's face filled with pus. So really not the sexiest location for a forward-facing camera, but you have more functionality in the center, and then of course functionality down below, because we do have V8 power. And even the way they brought some of this copper tone trim down here just gives it a nice little splash of color. But let me know what you think about the face of the Range Rover Sport compared to the BMW X7. Now, as we take the elevator up, big, bold aircraft carrier size hood. Remember, this is a full-size SUV. You do have adaptive air ride suspension. You can raise and lower this vehicle. And we have power getting to the ground all 4 corners. Now, as we come around the corner, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So you're gonna notice 23-inch optional wheels. These things are as big as a freaking manhole cover. Love the V-spoke design. You'll notice the Brembo calipers, 6-piston brake calipers, gonna give you some nice braking capability. And then I'm gonna have Lori kind of sling in and swing in on the suspension. You could actually see the control arm, the upright, and we have that adaptive air ride suspension. If you're wondering, well, Joe, what's the size of the tires? 285 on the width and a 40 series sidewall. The style is impeccable. I mean, it looks, to me, I like this style better than the BMW. That's just me. But will we like the on-throttle experience better? We're gonna find out. Now, as we come down the side, you do have these ornamental design cues. I do like the I like the indentation. I just wish that this was functional. And there's a little bit of that copper. Same thing on the side here. Make them functional. Why are we just sticking on stuff just for fun? It really is not that fun. From the side of the vehicle, I love the proportions. It's big, but it's sporty. And then you have that two-tone, nice flat roof, panoramic sunroof up there. When it comes to our side mirrors, they are gloss black, and I do have them in the power folded position. When you lock the vehicle, we have our 360-degree cameras and super flush door handles. Like the way that they did that. One thing I don't like is down below, why are they gonna put the autobiography badge all the way down here? That's the stupidest placement I've ever seen of a badge. Put it on the back, put it on the side, up here. Why are you putting it down there? That's a zonk. What's not a zonk though is everything is body color. Look at that. No gloss black, no flat black, no cladding, just sexy. I like sexy. Working our way towards the rear, good size on the quarter window. I love the way it all just blends in so seamless. And another thing I don't think a lot of people notice is notice how almost flat the ledge is on that flared side of the vehicle, starting with the front door and coming all the way towards the rear. Just like the headlights, super slim on our taillights. Look at the LED style in there. And then from the back, this is what I always talk about, guys. Our back end is clean. The wiper is tucked underneath the long roof spoiler. Why do we have to have it exposed? Look how good that looks. The Range Rover name in the trim. Of course, we got Sport. This is the Range Rover Sport Autobiography. And then dropping it down to ground level. Oh my God, I love it. Quad tip exhaust, stainless steel tips. Love that sort of like rectangle shape to them. And they're even staggered. And we have full tow capability in this. So not only are you gonna be able to haul the mail, but you're also gonna be able to tow the mail as well. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see that V8 engine. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. Of course, you have hood struts holding up the hood. Underneath the hood, semi-tasteful engine cover, but it's gonna be a carbon copy of what's in the BMW X7. What do we have? It's a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 pumping out 523 horsepower, 558 pound-feet of torque, and it is mated to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission, and we do have 4-wheel drive. 0 to 60 in 4 seconds flat. MPGs, 16 in the city, 23 on the highway. The vehicle weighs around 5,300 pounds, but can tow up to 7,716 pounds. So, very interesting how these large, supersized SUVs are getting performance that's nuts. But why don't we go ahead? This doesn't have the supercharged V8 anymore, but it does have twin turbos. Let's fire this up and see this Land Rover Range Rover Sport take off. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Range Rover Sport Autobiography. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I am drooling over this luxury performance SUV. I know it's a large vehicle, so I'm also going to probably think that the price is large. You are correct. Why don't you have a seat, take a deep breath, and we're going to say it together. You ready? 1, 2, 3. The MSRP for this particular vehicle is $130,000. Not cheap by any standards, but does it destroy the BMW X7 for what you get? If you're ready, let's do it Rady's Ride style. To the door panels. I love the style that Range Rover brings. You got the soft touch leather up top. We have the Meridian premium sound system with the dark aluminum speaker grille covers, dark chrome finish to the handles. And then you'll notice the real open port dark wood with your seat controls. 3 memory settings, heated, ventilated, and massage. I gotta zonk the gloss black though around the switch gear for the windows. Up top there by the window switch. That's where you're gonna get a lot of fingerprints. Door pocket, ginormous size. You'll easily get 2 plates of bangers and mash in there and a big old Yeti can of Earl Grey tea. Now going from the door panel to the dash, more of that fine leather, the stitching, the dark chrome. Watch this. Hit this button. Open it up. We got felt lining in here. And you have a 12 volt. This is where you could put your Atari Lynx and all of your game cartridges. And if you don't know what the Atari Lynx is, that is technically the first handheld colored video game system. Slide on in. If you like screens, definitely bigger screen than the Atari Lynx screen. This is over 13 inches. It's got a little bit of a convex. Remember, concave goes in, convex kind of bends out. And it's floating here. It's this floating, truly a floating iPad style screen. You got your Pivi Pro system. You could bring up all your AC controls, heated seats, ventilated seats, like I said, dual climate. If you go into the actual seats, this is where you could bring up your massage. So you could go ahead and set up your massage settings to adjust it. Everything that you need in the seats, you could do on the screen if you want to. Hit the mode button. What is that going to do for us? We have our different modes. Dynamic is what's called sport mode in a lot of other vehicles. You have off-road modes, which allows you to do things like rock crawl. This thing could go through almost 3 feet of water. I don't know if you're aware of that. Hill descent control. All those things easily accessible through the screen. You just got to cross your fingers and rub your rabbit's foot that this screen is always going to work properly. Off-road mode, you could adjust your height with that adaptive air ride suspension. I'm going to throw it into reverse. Cameras are as clear as freaking day. You got your trajectory. We got our 360. Watch this. Ooh, I just wish it was red. Why is it green? Why is it like this teal color? And it'd be cool if you could see Lori there. That would have been a cool little extra touch. But then you could also bring up your off-roading cameras. Don't want to scratch those 23-inch wheels while you're rock crawling. And you have your all-wheel drive system, your 2-speed transfer case. You can lock the front diff and the rear diff. So they got you covered there. And then you come right back to home. There is a lot of gloss black here. The good news is most people are going to do this. You're going to open up this door because we got wireless charging. Down below, you do have an area for like a Calvin Klein wallet, maybe a Louis Vuitton clutch, something like that, really small there. This is going to control your ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. There is a bit of gloss black, but if you aim appropriately, you should be able to hit the start-stop button without touching the gloss black. Think like Operation Game. Pretend that you're playing the Operation Game, and if you hit the black, you're going to get shocked. More of that open pore wood. Slide it open. We got 2 cup holders. You have your Land Rover key fob. Nothing to write home about, but it gets the job done. If you need more room, they have a hidden compartment space in here. So think about how you could put your bag of your bag of cookies. Your bag of cookies here, Famous Amos cookies. And I don't know if you know the story about poor Famous Amos. He developed this amazing chocolate chip cookie brand, and then he sold it, and they screwed him out of the royalties and stuff. And he actually passed away not too long ago, a very poor man. So, but you could keep that 1-pound bag of Famous Amos cookies in there. And then more of that nice leather. Close the door, open it up. What goes best with chocolate chip cookies? Yes, you are correct. a nice tall glass of milk. So you can actually put 2 small containers of milk in here. 1 regular standard milk, and then of course 1 chocolate milk. And we all know chocolate milk, kids, comes from brown cows. And then the seats, the leather, nice wide real estate for your body. All the electric controls are on the door like I showed you. One of the dumb things that I can't stand on Land Rovers and Range Rovers is the captain's chair armrest. If you already have this armrest here, why do you need this as well? It just seems like a little redundant, as they say. Now up top you got Alcantara, soft as your friend's teddy bear. And then you also have a nice power shade for our panoramic sunroof. Gets a little temperamental sometimes. And then the digital rear view mirror. That's like the cherry on top of your chocolate covered sundae. But why don't you come over here to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Range Rover. Hi guys, business time behind the wheel of this Range Rover Sport Autobiography. There is 3 memory seat settings for the driver's seat, for both the passenger and the driver's seat. Down below you got a beautiful aluminum sill plate. Autobiography illuminates at night, LED. Pedal box, you do have an aluminum brake, plastic sad throttle, that's a zonk. And then thankfully with the all-weather floor mats, you do have a beefy dead pedal. I am gonna zonk it though, because underneath that, the dead pedal is just carpet. Obviously the controls are on the door, so you get a little bit more wider piece of real estate for the lower portion of the seat cushion. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here. If you're Shaq, just open up the sunroof and just drive with your head sticking out the sunroof. It's that easy. Steering wheel, I wish it was a little bit thicker on the actual wheel. I don't know why they went so thin. And you do have gloss black on the switchgear, so you're gonna get your KFC fingerprints all over it. But I do love the Range Rover name, the nice stitching, the dark chrome. And then you have metal, not plastic, not tin. You have metal paddles to go up and down that 8-speed automatic, and it is a tilting and telescoping steering wheel. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention that somebody really important said is a problem is that if you lower the steering wheel too much, it starts to block the instrumentation. But as we zoom on in, you got that beautiful digital gauge cluster with your maps. You can configure the gauges 24 different ways from Sunday, and there's a head-up display. So they got you covered when it comes to beautiful, clear information from the digital display. And then, of course, we got to get to that backseat area. And what's crazy is, remember, this is only 2 rows, not 3. But why don't we go ahead, get in that backseat, and see how your passengers are going to experience this Range Rover Sport. All right, guys, come sit on the lap. Not my lap. We're not going there. Come sit on the lap of luxury, because back here, you're getting this sporty, classy luxury that's nuts. Now, on the door panel, you do have power seats for the rear passengers. Nice to have those controls up there. That just means you got more real estate, just like the people up front for your body, just like they have for their body. You're gonna have lots of real estate for your body as well. The backs of the seats, all leather. You could put your copies of Forbes magazine, maybe Newsweek, Money Manager, have those in there while you're making your millions and millions and millions of dollars. Back little command center, you got your AC vents with the dark chrome. This is one of those systems where you follow directions. You push and you can make adjustments, ventilated seats and heated seats, or what you do is you pull and now you can adjust the blower fan. It's actually dual climate back here, heated and ventilated. Sitting here, like I said, champagne wishes and caviar dreams. When the paparazzi's coming after you, you put up that shade, no pictures please. And then, like I said, the power seat controls are really, really nice back here to recline and get all that movement you want. Pull this bad boy down. Semi-soft, but I'm gonna show you why. Watch this. Ooh, this is where you could put your 1-pound bag of Skittles, close that up, and then boom, you do have, of course, your cup holders. One thing I forgot to show you, which I know Lori will kill me if I don't show you, is down below, you do have 2 USB-Cs and a 12 volt. My big zonk is there's no home power source in here. And for $130,000, that's insanity. But what is nice is that you have your AC vents mounted up nice and high. And I like the oh crap handle. It actually feels like the leather right off a high-end purse to hold on to. But why don't we go ahead? Like I said, there's no third row, thank God, because you're gonna be squished like a bug back there. But let's see how much room there is for your cargo in this luxury SUV. All right, guys, cargo area time. We're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. Hit the button, nice electric assist. Now, one thing to just point out is you'll see how high the rear bumper is. The good news is we do have that adaptive air ride suspension, and you can lower it some to give you a little bit more, or I should say a little bit less room from the ground. So that's in a lower position. It's still a little high, but just remember, bend with your knees when picking things up, not with your back. I want you to take care of yourself. In the cargo area, your stuff's gonna be taken care of. You got over 32 cubic feet of space. I like the way we have the Range Rover Twinkie strap over here. 12 Twinkies easily held on the driver's side. On the passenger side, you do have a 12 volt. I am gonna zonk that though. That really should be a home power source. And then we also have a cargo net for our box of Twinkies. Now, you can get more room in here, and it's all done by the switch gear. Real simple, you got a 60-40 split. It's all electric assist, of course. And you can see just how nicely the seats go down. I don't know if you noticed, the headrest actually lowers itself as well. But look at that. Now you have over 70 cubic feet of space back here. The one thing to remember, this is a 2-row. The BMW X7 is a 3-row. But really, is that 3rd row that great for people to sit back there? Not when you're full-size Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. But why don't we go ahead? I don't really care about cargo area that much. What I care about is going on throttle. So call shotgun, strap in, and we're gonna go see how this Range Rover Sport Autobiography drives. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Range Rover Sport Autobiography. I do have it in dynamic mode, and if you're ready, I'm ready. On throttle, here we go. Nice acceleration from that twin turbo V8. And you're getting a good amount of sound in the cabin. Now, some of it is piped in through the speaker system, but I find that it's not as bad as in the BMW. So I am happy to report that. Seats are absolutely fantastic when it comes to comfort, the materials, the support. And I really like the way they have the dash set up. You can see the instrumentation so simple through the steering wheel, plus you have the head-up display, and the Pivi Pro system is well within reach. Now, you could go into your different modes like I showed you earlier. We are in dynamic. That's where I like to be. And then we'll pull up the apps and get up your cameras here. So you can see all of the camera quality. Really, really fantastic, even while you're driving down the street. So that's good as well. Steering feel, the feedback is nice. The suspension is so well tuned, and you can't beat that 4-wheel drive system. I mean, it gets the power to the ground so effectively. Really fantastic. Now, if you want to manually shift, you put it in S, and then you're able to shift manually with the paddles. On throttle, here we go. So whether you're using the paddles or you're letting that 8-speed shift for itself, the transmission is just a really sweetheart of a gearbox. But this thing is gonna surprise you on how it handles and how it drives 100%. I mean, for a large vehicle like this, to be able to do what it does, and the great news is too, is that it has rear wheel steer. So making a tight turn is a piece of cake. Plus, as the road turns, it just makes it a little bit more nimble. and not so cumbersome. I love the visibility out front. Because of the digital rear view mirror, we don't have to worry about what is behind us. You got those massive Brembos, which are going to shed speed so quickly. And it's nice to have all the information right here in front of you instead of having to hunt for it all over the place. We can go back into our apps. Real simple. Here's our apps. We go into Dynamic Eye. Here's where you can make all your adjustments. There's a stopwatch, lap times, and a G meter. How many performance SUVs have that? None that I can think of. On throttle. Like I said, this thing is a freaking cruise missile. Even though it's a big, massive SUV. Just absolutely pure insanity what they're able to do with this vehicle. And yet it's comfortable, but you feel so connected to the asphalt, and you're able to maneuver it very, very easily. You do get a little bit of body roll, and there is a little bit of a floatiness that I would like to kind of cut back a little bit more, but hey, you know, it's a compromise like anything else, right? I mean, you're lifting up your center of gravity in an SUV. You can't expect it to be totally planted, but there are other brands out there that have been able to accomplish that. One of them is Cadillac with the Escalade V. But I actually prefer using the paddles. They actually are very responsive. They're a great size. And no matter if you're going up the gears or down the gears, it feels really good. So third gear, down to second. Are you ready? On throttle, here we go. Look at it. I mean, the way that it just handles, it makes you feel. The feedback through the wheel is great. And then I want to show you just how easy it is to make a U-turn in this thing. It's really going to surprise you for such a large SUV. Nice downshifts. You ready? Check this out. Look at that. From a dead stop. You ready? On throttle. Here we go. Nice. But as you can see, there is a little bit of body roll, and it just it's a little floaty, and it doesn't make me feel fantastic. But I'm sure the more I got used to this vehicle, the more I would be able to push the limits. I mean, that just comes with spending more time behind the wheel and getting familiar with it. But boy, oh boy, how this thing is just comes from the factory with the power, with the torque, with the suspension. I mean, it really is the full suite of everything and anything that you could ever need, not only in your daily life driving around, but also if you were an international spy, this would be the vehicle to be in. Nice smooth torque delivery. There's no boost lag to think about because you got those two smaller turbos. And really, it shines whether you're going or you're braking because both are just phenomenal. Visibility, like I said, is fantastic. You ready? On throttle, here we go. Power gets to the ground nicely. In dynamic mode, I love the way it gives you a nice kick every time you shift. Or if you put it back in automatic mode with the shifting, it gives you a nice purposeful kick at each shift. But I'm hoping that this has been a good overall review of what the Range Rover Sport Autobiography is bringing to you. We're gonna get back and wrap this one up, so I will see you in a split second. All right, guys, another great day in so many ways. With an over 500 horsepower SUV. Definitely got to thank everybody over at Range Rover for allowing us to have access to this press fleet vehicle. Now it's your turn to let me know what you think. Are you going to be bold? Are you going to risk it and go Range Rover, or are you going to go BMW? Some people would say both are an equal risk. But for me, I do like the Sport Autobiography, just the style, the driving, compared to the BMW. But let me know how you think, how you feel, what you're about in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raise Rights family. Got to give it up to LGR, baby. She's working that camera like the champion that she is, because guess what? Last year she did win the YouTube Videographer Championship. She's got her championship belt on right now. We're going to do a little live Q&A soon, and she's going to show it off. So thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.